everybody. Welcome back to another session, the STEAMigram session. I'm Amanda, and today we are still continuing with the whole trend of science and entrepreneurship. So today we are bringing back one of my favorite scientists. Prof. Keolebogile Shirley Motaung is back, but this time she's not talking about vaccines or anything like that. Today she's talking about business. She's talking about entrepreneurship because she herself is a CEO of Global Health Biotech. So without further ado, I'm going to ask you to join the conversation and we're going to get started. Prof,
can you see me?
Yes, I can see you today. I can see you. Yes, I can see you and you look good. So yeah. Prof, obviously you're back today and we are speaking about one of the topics that are very close to your heart. Yes. We are speaking business, we are speaking entrepreneurship. So we're not going to waste time. I'm just going to go straight into the questions. And I've told everybody else if they have questions as well that they must just type them at the bottom and we'll answer them.
Right? Absolutely.
So the first question, Prof, is why did you consider entrepreneurship as a scientist?
Okay, let me first start. Why I consider it? It was the way students or scientists are being taught at the university. Especially from the entrepreneurial part, nobody is teaching entrepreneur at the university. But later on, they expect students to be entrepreneurs. Then you ask yourself a question, how is that possible? Number two, it's also the way it's also being taught. If it happens that someone is doing masters in entrepreneurship and you ask her or him, what is your business all about? He will say to you, I don't have a business for now. I just want to finish my master's. And after that, I am going to start with the business. That's not how it's taught. Then I realized that what I'm going to do, especially for the postgraduate, I'm going to start incorporating entrepreneur into that. Because number one, I realized that we train students and the way we train them like they must go and look for a job. We don't train them in a manner that they must be able to create jobs for themselves and for others too. It's the way the system is the way they've been taught. And then it also used to break my heart because you will see when students graduated PhD, especially who were wearing the red gown, they become so excited. They thinking that that red gown is going to open doors for them. They don't understand that that red gown can also shut doors for them. So it used to be one of the things that if any of my students that I personally have trained wearing a red gown, there is no way the students were going to be the same like going to look for a job. The students must also be able to know that he or she is going to try to create job from what her or he has been taught, especially if it's me giving that. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to be an entrepreneur. And I also decided to see that, you know what, wait a minute, actually, university can create more jobs because of the kind of research that we are doing, and we don't actually translate it. And if we can translate it, then it can really show that university can create jobs.
Yeah. So then, Prof, how did you start Global Health Biotech?
Global Health Biotech is actually started from my research background, as I've already explained. And the reason for me to start Global Health Biotech, it was very funny and very weird. My position, I'm the Assistant Dean of Research in the Faculty of Science. And can you hear the word assistant? You are assisting. You cannot make a decision. If you have to make a decision, you must actually bounce those decisions with someone else, and then someone else can say, go ahead or not. So for me, I'm not, I cannot be assisting until I go to retirement, still assisting. I wanted to be my own boss, which there's nothing wrong to be that, because as soon as you assist, you are going to be micromanaged. No mistake about it, because we always have to report. So I'm not a very good candidate to be micromanaged, because I want really to make things on my own, and I wanted to be my own boss. And if I am going to allow that, then it means I'm going to turn 65 and still assisting. That's how I started Global Health. I started Global Health because I didn't want to be an assistant dean forever. Number two, I started global health because I wanted to be my own boss, and there's nothing wrong to say you are your own boss, and it's a little bit challenging. But I also didn't want to be my only boss, like how I would say to be the one. What I did, because I was already training 2 PhD students, I gave them shares in the company, Mapula and Mayapa, and then another lady that was actually giving us how can I say, materials also to be part and parcel. One of the things that's how global health. So global health is myself, Dr. Mayepe, Dr. Razunini, and Dr. Mpilu. The four of us, we are actually the founders of the global health. And global health is actually coming from the research background. Nothing else. It was not something that you can say you went and study. We just use our research and we translate it, and we started manufacturing products from that.
Wow, that's actually amazing. I like the fact that you have to be your own boss. You decided for yourself that you don't want to be assisting forever. You want to instead rather have assistants, not be the one assisting.
And micromanage. You must understand. You can have this nice title, and you're going to be micromanaged. Even if you've got an idea, you must go and bounce this idea with someone else. If that someone else doesn't like that idea, then you cannot do anything. So for me, I don't like to be micromanaged. And you will see that most of the people, not only me, majority of the people that started their own business, they will tell you the very same thing, that they were tired of being micromanaged. Because when I'm talking about micromanage, they will send you to meetings that you don't have anything to do about. Like, for instance, somebody can just say there's a problem with electricity. They've got a meeting. Don't you want to go and attend that meeting on my behalf? But you are not an electrician, so you're not going to contribute anything. So why must you go and attend that meeting? Because you are not an electrician or either a plumber. But just to show, I'm just giving you that an example. Those are the kind of things that I just want to show, to tell you.
Okay. And then, Prof, usually when we start business, the biggest thing is capital. So how did you deal with the issue of startup capital?
I must say I've been fortunate based on that. When I start my business, NRF managed to give us money for R&D, research and development. And then I did the R&D for whatever I wanted to do until I become to a product where, until I become to, I did the R&D. After done the R&D, then I had to come to the process where now I need to have a prototype. So when I had a prototype, that was where I realized that now I need money for the prototype to upscale it, because for the research, for MRC, NRF, they just give me the R&D part. Then I decided, no, the best way for me is now, since I've got a prototype, I want to upscale, I have to start applying for funding. But having said that, I won a lot of awards from the products that we have developed. That was the Africa Sutha. And when I win this money, I didn't use this money to go and buy clothes or Louis Vuitton or hair or makeup or whatever. I was very strategic that I'm going to use this money and invest this money into my business. And most of the money that I've actually received from the Sawisa Women in Science Award, from the pitching, anything, whatever I was just receiving, I've made sure that I invested that money into my company. And it really, really helps a lot. And why I'm saying so, because I already had my own. Instead of some people, it becomes, unfortunate for them that they need to resign and use their pension money. So for me, I was fortunate based on that. Now, when I had to go and ask for funding from the funders, they will usually ask you, do you have money? They wanted to see that. Then it was easier for me because I could show them that I have already invested so much into my company, then they will be able to give me the money. Then it was easy for them, because remember, funders will never give you money if you also didn't invest anything, if they don't see. And everyone as a funder, they don't want to be number one to give you money. They want to see if someone else has already given you the money. And that was the reason why it has helped me a lot. And this is what I always try to teach people, that when you want to start a business, you don't need whatever you've got, learn to save it towards your business. It can help you a lot. Because when you go to someone else to invest in your business, the person is going to ask you, how much have you as an individual invested into your business? But if you see that you didn't invest, they're not going to be able to give you money.
Yeah, that's very true. Because we've had instances where somebody will come to and be like, I have this business idea. I would like to do this. Can you please give me money? Then you ask them, how much have you put in? They're like, well, I don't have any money to put in. Then you realize that this person probably hasn't made the necessary sacrifices. Even if they only have 200 Rand towards the thing, at least you know that they've made a contribution, and they too are so serious that they're willing to lose that 200 Rand to this business that they want to start.
Yes. And remember, funders don't fund ideas. And I always tell people, always say, I've got an idea, but nobody wants to give me money. Funders don't fund ideas. Funders fund business. Take your ideas and go and make a business from your ideas. And I think this is where most of the people make it wrong, thinking that, no, I've got these ideas, nobody wants to give me money for my ideas. Sometimes funders don't fund ideas. If you've got an idea, rather discuss with your family to see if they can fund that ideas and that idea become a business, so that when you go to the funders to ask for money, they can see that that idea is going to work. Because you remember, having an idea does not necessarily mean that idea is going to work. Having an idea does not necessarily mean that it's going to be a business that is going to blow or say, wow, it's just an idea. Hence, you call it an idea.
Yeah, no, that's true. So, Prof, with some of the things that you've said, with the funding thing, that's one mistake that people tend to make, where they just ask for money with an idea. So, what are some of the other biggest mistakes that people make when they're starting a business?
The problem is, people, when they do business, the biggest mistake that a lot of people do, they don't do the market strategy. There is no need for you to go and start a business if you don't know that you've got a market out there. And that, for me, is one of the most crucial things. So the first thing is to make sure that you have a market. That's why most of the time they always tell you that go and do market analysis, go and make sure that you've got clients for this business that you want to do. Because some people, they've already done this products or they've developed this app, but then they will say to you, I've got an app, but nobody is interested to invest into this app. Then you ask yourself a question, did you really do a due diligence with this app to make sure who is actually going to invest into this app, who needs this app, what makes it different? I'm just making that as an example. Mm-hmm. So that is the biggest mistake that a lot of people do when they start the business, that they don't really go and do their market. They actually don't make sure that they've got clients, and that is the biggest mistake. Secondly, the biggest mistake that most of the people also do, they don't attend courses to empower them in business. I don't stop attending courses to empower me in business. I'm a scientist, but I don't understand the business language. They don't attend it, and the person will be thinking that they do understand how to run a business. And you cannot run a business like that. You really need to keep on attending that. Thirdly, you need to have a mentor. I've got mentors still, even if I'm a professor in my business. But when you get a mentor who actually going to understand what is your business all about. I cannot go and get somebody who hasn't got a clue of pharmaceutical or sports injury for that matter and say that person must be my mentor. Because remember, your mentor must also be able to assist you to get funding, must also be able to expose you to other funders or to any other people that will want to talk to you regarding the business. So those are the kind of issues that sometimes the people wanted to make that biggest mistake. And on the other hand, people don't share. I mean, nothing stops to have someone who's also got a business and you just try to share an idea that, I'm struggling with this and this, and how do I go about it? And I'm fortunate because I've got a very close friend of mine who is also a business person, Dr. Mashio. And I mean, it's got a gym, having a gym, competing with the Vision Active. I mean, that is something that you can think of. But we always talk about it and discuss, and I learn a lot from her, and she also learn a lot from me. So you really don't stop. And the other thing that is beauty, you need to have that business partner relationship with someone. Whenever she sees something that is an opportunity for me, even if I was not aware, she will send via the email that says, no, check this and see if you can apply. And that is the kind of things that you know. So the other thing, associate yourself with the people that talk your language in business. Don't go and associate yourself with the slay queen when you are a business person that they're going to tell you about, oh my God, makeup, there's nothing wrong to be beautiful, don't get me wrong. But for me, I don't understand if I'll be sitting with beautician and talking about this, what is in that for me. I can rather go and associate with the people that we will talk the same language. And for me, is what stimulates me, is what empower me. So those are the kind of things, especially when you start your business, how you position yourself in terms of starting up your business.
Yeah. Okay, so Prof, you're giving some insights there. They're so great, and you're saying something. You said something about networking, which is very important. So, but what happens with some of us who are a little bit shy, and talking to people scares us? So, what should we do?
That's the reason why I'm saying, I'm glad, Amanda, you raised this, because somebody will say to you, I'm very shy. You there, and I'm also very shy, by the way, when I talk to people. People think that I'm not. You have to make sure that you attend these courses that is actually going to build up your self-confidence. If you don't have, you remember last time I was mentioning it, like if you don't have a self-confidence, try to fake it, just to make it that is there. And I'm glad that I can proudly say, in terms of my postgraduate students that I have supervised, most of them, with their confidence, you can see that they're coming from my lab. I mean, no doubt about it, or the one that I'm associating themselves with. Because I always teach them that nothing wrong to be ambitious, nothing wrong to, to have self-confidence, and nothing wrong to be assertive. The problem is people don't understand all those things. When you're assertive, people think that you are arrogant, or people think that, oh my God, you are a difficult person to work with. And it's not that, it's because you are assertive. So as I always said, rather fake it, have a mentor who is going to take you through that processes. I have mentored so many students that were very shy. I mean, one of them I can just mention, that when they start joining the lab, they are so shy. Even Mapuda, for instance, Dr. Razinwani, I will make an example with them. When they start coming to the lab, they are so shy. You don't know whether they're coming or they're going. But I can tell you, after 6 months, 8 months now, because I gave them that room, so that because I don't put them in the closet that, no, you can't. I give them that room that they can also have started to show how confident they are, to start to show how assertive they are. So those are the most important thing that a person must be able to know. Because if you are shy, how are you going to sell your business? Because if you're shy, somebody else is going to say, man, I mean, you're very shy, but the way you want to sell me something that I must use, you are very shy. How will I believe that the thing is going to work? So it's very crucial that you either attend these courses of self-confidence, you either attend this, or you have a mentor that's always going to show you that. And also, when you've got a business, you constantly have to sell it. I mean, whenever I'm talking to somebody else, after he says to me, how are you? I'm fine, what? Before I can go further, I said, hey, I've got a company that is doing so and so. And the person will have to listen to me, whether he or she like it. And that's how I get business. And that's how I get people say, oh, we want to buy your product. So don't be shy talking about your business anywhere, whenever you meet a person. If somebody wants to listen to you, before that person can say, bye, it was nice meeting you, make sure that you have told that person what your business is. And I can tell you, if the way you sell it, that person is going to assist you to get other people that can invest in your business.
Yeah, sure. Prof, you just said something now that is really deep. What you said is whenever you meet somebody, you will at least somewhere in that conversation mention that you have a business. And
Yes.
what we have seen is that sometimes, you almost feel like maybe you're boasting or you're trying to make yourself feel like you're better than everybody else, but it's just a marketing strategy. That's what it is.
Yes. It is a marketing strategy, Amanda. And remember, it's also how you said it. You're not gonna send as if you are making billions of money. You like this. Like nowadays, everybody will talk about COVID. You met someone and start talking about COVID has done 1, 2, 3, 4. You said yes. And in terms of the business, it has actually affected us. By the way, I've also one of the business that has been affected by COVID. This is what I'm doing, and the person started listening to what you do. Can you see the angle that I have used to come to? So you don't just say, hey, I've got it. You have to have a way on how you're going to approach the person. That the person must be able to listen to you. And it's not like you are boosting. You just explain to the person what you're doing, and that this is the kind of business that you're doing. And in terms of how the main aim is to make sure that you mention this so that this person must go and tell the other person, the other person must go and tell the other person, the other person must go and tell the other person. Because then at the end of the day, you will see that you will receive a phone call from other people and say, oh, by the way, you've got a business card. Let me get you a business card and see how I can. And make sure that if you sell products, make sure that you've got at least sample in your bag, so that when after you talking to the person, you can say, I actually got it here with me. I can even show it to you how it works.
Wow, that's very helpful. And then, Prof, just going a little bit back to the money. You said obviously when you started your business, you were fortunate because you had some money from awards and so forth, and you took all of that money and pumped it into your business. And you also said something about how you didn't take that money and spend it on, I don't know, a brand new car or clothes or whatever. Instead, you invested it into your business. But in terms of profit, how long did it take you to start seeing profit?
I'm going to be honest with you. Even now, I'm not seeing profit. I'm
Wow.
still restarting. I'm not seeing profit yet, because I had to build the lab. I had to invest in the lab at the Innovation Hub, because my business is kind of a little bit expensive. I had to make sure that that lab meets accreditation, which is ISO. And when you ask somebody to do an ISO, it's about 90,000 rand. So it's not there yet. So the money, if I can sell whatever amount of products that I can sell, I have also to go and reinvest it to make sure that at least for this money, I've used it for this. What is crucial and important is accountability. For each and every cent, you must be able to know how you have used this money for. And if you don't learn to be accountable, you're going to have a serious problem. Accountability is one of the most crucial thing, because if you're not going to be accountable, you're always going to take this money and use it for something else, or borrow yourself the money from the company and say, let me go and buy something, I will bring it back. It does not work like that. So it's very crucial to make sure that you are accountable for that. And on the other hand, when you also apply for grants or for the funders, they want to see your financial. You have to go to the bank and they want to see how you've been doing in terms of your finance, and to see how you spend it before they can also give you the money. Hence, accountability is very crucial. It's very important to make sure that you account for that. So, and if you sometimes you become lucky that you will have a grant like Innovation Hub, I will apply, and they will give you a grant based on your repetition, based on how you conduct your business. Failing so, they won't. They will end up saying you must pay them back. So accountability is crucial. If the people give you 250,000, you were thinking that is a lot of money. It's not a lot of money if you are in the biotech space. Perhaps it can be a lot of money on the other. But remember, you have to be accountable for this money.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So, but you say you haven't seen any profit yet. How long have you been running the business?
I've just started running the business, I think, to start 2017. I can just say 2018, 2019, 2020. 3 years from now.
So it's only 3 years.
It's only 3 years.
And you saying that, sorry?
It's how I've been advertising it and getting clients. Now at least I've got clients that now I can see. I can give myself another 2 years, and then after that I'll be able. Because the profit that you get, you will see that you don't have an instrument, you must go and buy something. The profit that you've got, you see that something is broken, the machine, now you have to go and fix it. Something is something, now you have to go and sort it out. Yes.
So, you, Prof, saying that you haven't made any profit yet, it's actually not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that your business is not successful, because I think I was reading the other day, Netflix, for example, I think took 10 to 15 years to just break even when they started their business. So that's how it is. And I think one of the things that contribute to businesses failing is that we want profit from day one. So that little money that we use, we don't put it back in the business, then the business dies.
You got it right. Yes. And nothing wrong. Some business can take you 5 years, some can take you 10 years before you can just do the profit. And like what you said, there's nothing wrong. As long as the finance, you are accountable for each and every cent that you have encountered. As long as you know that you have paid the rent, if you have to pay the rents, you pay the lease, if you have to do this with the water and lights, as long as all those things have been paid up, you've not been in a situation whereby you cannot be able to afford to pay them, unless it's something like COVID, as it has affected a lot of businesses. But I'm just talking in terms of if everything is running smoothly, every month you must have that money and be able to know how you do with it. It can take you 5 years. And on the other hand, don't rush to go and drive flashy cars to show the people that now you are in business, you are doing well. Nothing, that is also another biggest mistake that young entrepreneurs, they always do, or young innovators, they always do, because they want to show off. Or some of the things that sometimes they become lucky, that is this tier, not TIA or DTI gave the money, but the way they invest the money, you will see that they got money, but they went and buy unnecessary things that was actually not towards the business. I mean, I've heard that lots of stories that to invest sometimes in young innovators, they actually don't know how to. And that's what sometimes attending all these courses, I mean, I've attended a financial courses. I've attended so many courses, Amanda, just to make sure, even marketing, just to understand how the business is working. Even branding, I've attended all those courses, and there was nothing wrong for me to attend those courses. So it's very crucial that keep on empowering yourself. Technology keep on changing. If there is a course that you must attend, you really have to attend it. And I can also say I'm very grateful because I've got a mentor from MIT, USA, that we always talk, or Skype, just to, this is how you do it. And this guy is a professor too. They're also in the pharmaceutical space. So we can share most of the thing. We can share the same thing, our frustration, and they can also assist. And then how we can also do the thing.
Okay. And speaking of mentors, do you know any mentorship programs that you can recommend to young entrepreneurs?
There are a couple of ones, but I don't know them right now, but I can find out and send them to you so that you can post it. There are people who are registered, who prepared to mentor young entrepreneurs, and then they can take it from there. But I will suggest get a mentor who, if you are in business, there are two ways to get a mentor. You can just get anybody who can be your mentor. You can just say to me, you want me to be your mentor, which is fine. I don't have a problem. But when you get a mentor, if you're already in a business, get the one that understands your business, that will be able to assist. The only disadvantage with these mentors, they want money that they need to be paid. They're not like free for one, like somebody will ask, they want the free for one. They're not like the free for one. They will want the one that they will want it to be paid off. But I know if you've got a business and you are incubated at the Innovation Hub, they give you a mentor, which Innovation Hub is going to carry the cost for that mentor. So it just depends on how to do that. But I guess I'm one of those that I can say I've been disadvantaged myself, because sometimes I end up mentoring students for free because I like it. And I also, it's kind of my success if I say to myself, I've succeeded in life, is when I've seen that I've mentored other people coming. But that's just me, that I'm just doing it. So but the one that I know, they want to be paid.
Okay.
And some of them, they are very expensive.
Yeah, but in terms of mentorship, Prof, you're saying something about having somebody you can speak to and stuff, but also virtual mentors. Like if you can find somebody who's doing your business, even if they live abroad or they live in another part of the country, and they're on social media. I mean, social media is a thing now. Social media, maybe they have a YouTube channel. Watch their YouTube channel, follow them on social media, see what it is they're doing, because indirectly they're also mentoring you without you having physical contact with them as well.
Yes, you are right, Amanda, because some of them, they actually even don't mind. And based on my experience, I've seen that most of especially the ones via social media, they're free. They don't want money from you. You can always make sure that you chat with them and they'll be able to assist. I mean, it's not like where you have to go to class and be able to sit and somebody wanted to say, I'm now taking you through the processes of how I'm going to mentor you. But with those ones, you can always talk to them and they can always advise you on how to do the things. And you are right by saying so. Mm-hmm. And I think also people must always open. I mean, like sometimes you will see that GIPS, University, Gordon Institute Business School. Sometimes they've got courses online for free. I mean, nowadays I've been seeing that when you go to their website, and it's for free. And most of them is for actually for entrepreneur. Nothing stop you to enter to register for those courses and start doing those courses. I mean, it's for free, and you're also going to learn a lot.
Okay. No, that's very
And,
helpful.
and sometimes people says to you, if something is for free, they said, is this really the standard? And it's for free. I mean, I just finished one course with MIT for free. You know, yes. It's just to empower yourself, and you learn a lot by doing so.
The other question it says, as a postgraduate student, how would you turn your research into a business? Will the university have a stake in it?
Okay, let me talk about this. At let me talk to TUT because I understand it better. They've got a policy for spin-out policy. And this policy is for you take your research and then you can translate it. I'm trying to empower a lot of professors regarding that, and in terms of that. What happened is you take your research that you're going to translate. There are two ways to do this. Either the professor doesn't want to be an entrepreneur, which most of the professors are not entrepreneur, by the way. I think I'm the weird one. So what the university needs to do is there must be that an agreement between the student and the professor. Should you as a supervisor don't want to take this further, the students can take that, but then there must be a contract in between. I know that the Faculty of Engineering, they've done that with one of the ladies who are mentoring her, and like I said, for free, because it's also an entrepreneur. What is just important is just to make sure that the spin-off is there. Policy, it has been approved. And what is in that for me in my company with the university is the royalties. They've got a certain percentage that they will take, but not now. As soon as I started to make profits, there's a certain percentage of royalty that they will take. But one of the advantages that I have gained from the university, I have licensed their patent. They've actually filed a patent in South Africa. It went through the pass due diligence, if I can use that word, because I'm not a lawyer. And then from there, I had to choose an international country that I can file. So far, I've chosen US, that they can file it in the US. I was a little bit scared to choose China because they are very smart. They can take my stuff and run with it. I'm joking. So I've chosen the US. So then again, the university is going to pay for that, and patent is very expensive. Yes. So for me, what I have just done, I've just asked the university to license the technology for them, and then with the royalties. So one thing that I need to teach students: don't cry to own the patent. I mean, anyway, your name is there on the patent, even if they file it. But don't want to say, this is my patent, you want to own it because it's very expensive. Let the university do it, and then you license it from the university. And then when you license it from the university, it's far much better, because now you don't have issues to deal with. All what you just have issues to deal with is just to make sure that you, by the time is right, you will give them the royalty that you have agreed with them.
Okay, no, that's
so basically, and on the other hand, if the university has got an equity in the company, you as the owner, you're not going to be so energetic, so excited, thinking that it's not your company, it's still the university. And that's the disadvantage. The second disadvantage is the funders or the venture capitalists don't want to fund companies that they know that universities are linked to, because they also avoid all these red tapes. They will rather fund a spin out coming from the university. To show that this kind of things, they do work, I've also licensed a technology from University of Stellenbosch, and based on the certain percentage of that, I will just give it to them. So don't always be, there are ways to work around with the university, and they can also be open. Nowadays, university, because most of the university, they want to go commercializing route, they also started to learn how they can do that.
We have another question, Prof. So don't you think we can have a workshop to help both young entrepreneurs and postgraduate students on issues of handling money?
Said something that it's always been a passion to my heart. And I've got even someone who has said yes. When I received the Standard Bank Women Science Award, I forgot that is a long name of the Standard Bank. It was sponsored by PPF, Professional something funds. And those are the kind of people that they do with finance. And I've actually asked them, can they do workshop for us for free? They agreed that they can do this.
Great.
I even got a person. We can do it. I'll be so happy. We can arrange a Zoom if this does not want, but we can do it. They are for free. I'm not going to pay them because I told them that is the benefit of being known by those people.
What are some of the challenges that you've encountered as an entrepreneur?
For me, because I'm on the biotech space, and biotech space, number one, is a male dominant space. And secondly, is also white, white, male, not even female. So those were always been my challenge. Like sometimes when you talk to them about your product or you sell it, and then they will look at you like as if, do you understand what you are saying? Have you done this and this and this? And so it was basically in terms of undermining you, that you cannot tell them what to do, especially in the pharmaceutical space, with their space, the biotech space. So those were the challenge. But I can tell you, I had to persevere. And then I didn't really back off. Perseverance is the way to do it. And then secondly, I didn't allow that. Even if I'll be so hurt, I'll cry when I get home, but I will not show them that they have hurt me. And one of the things that actually end up helping me is by dropping my title. And that is one of the things in our language, so I just had to do it because I just had to tell them that, listen, guys, I'm not a professor for nothing. I'm a professor. And I've done the safety. I now have to tell them, I've done the safety certificates. I'm a scientist. I've done this, and I've done this. So for me, those were the challenges. So you have to have a way on how you're also going to show how brave you are, how bold you can be, but in a manner that they need to understand that, no, they must not take you out for right. Thirdly, there was a couple of, I want to just mention that, there were a couple of them that they actually wanted to buy me, saying, no, why don't you bring your products? And you could see that it's a pharmaceutical space. I'm competing with them. I mean, it's this one. And you see what happened, Amanda. I gave them the sample, and I knew I'm opening a can of worm. I gave them the sample, and I knew it was a company that I'm competing with them. And after that, they went and used the product. And after that, they said to me, can we talk? I knew when they said, can we talk? I know that my products work. And then, of course, they've got money. I would have said, yes, they can swallow me. But then that was the end of La Africa Suitha, you see. Because now they started saying, no, let's do this. We can give you money. We can do this. I don't have money. And this was the biggest mistake, that also, when to sell your equity, when to sell your half, I'll pack it there and I'll tell you now. Then, because of they knew that I need money or I needed instrumentation, then they were like, no, we can give you this and this and this. I had to stop and say, no, I'm fine. I'll see what to do. And they were prepared. Even now, they still drop me an email and said, have you considered, don't you consider to give us this and this and this and this? So those are the challenges, especially after realizing that your products work, because now they wanted us to work together, not to work together per se. It's now they buy me. So what about me? I mean, it's too early for me to say I can sell my shares or I can sell my equity. And what about my business partners as well? And I mean, how do you sell your company if you actually didn't even see the profit? Yeah. So those are the kind of things that you just have to have principles. You just have to say, I'm not going to do it. But if you don't have money, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs, they sell their business, and later on they end up working for them, because I was going to end up doing the very same thing that I want. I don't want to be micromanaged by them just because they've got money. So I just said, no, this one is not going to work for me.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad that you stood your ground, Prof. I think that's very important for every business person to do, because it's easy, especially when you want fast money. Somebody comes and says, okay, I'll offer you 50,000 or I don't know, 100,000 for this whole idea, and you just sell it to them and it's gone, and then they go and make millions of it, and you can't come and say anything after that. That actually leads into the next question. The question is, how do you detect or determine that you are making the right decision by rejecting investors' offers?
Thank you for that. That is a brilliant question. I went to Switzerland I attended a course in Finland actually for a month. And these were the kind of issues that for business, these were the kind of issues that we were talking about. This is where I was going to talk about equity, when to sell it, what percentage that you want to give it to whoever. One of the things, don't sell your equity when you didn't make your money. I will say to this person, I will tell them, I don't want your million, I don't want your 3 million. I will still want first to make my 10 million, whatever, before I can. Because you know what? When these people approached you to buy shares or to buy you, they already see opportunity. I can tell you, they already see opportunity. So you're going to regret after 5 years that you were just given 5 million and people are already making 15 million, and you're going to regret. So don't sell your equity, even if you are struggling financially now. Don't even give them the whole amount of the equity. You can sell a certain percentage if you know that you are benefiting. But you must also understand your financial projection of your company. Because if you sell it without knowing that, usually people will tell you that in 5 years' time, this company will worth so much. In 10 years' time, this company will worth so much. Those are the kind of things that you need to understand.
Yeah, no, that's very true. What last message do you have for us young entrepreneurs, or for those of us who are thinking of starting a business? What is maybe 1 or 2 things that you're like, this you have to know?
There are couple of things that you have to know. I will say follow your passion. And then I will also say have a dream, which I've explained it last time in terms of being a dreamer. And just understand that people are going to discourage you, but don't always allow those people to discourage you. People are always going to tell you that this is not going to work. I know when I start Global Health with these products, people are saying, yo, that is too much. It's not going to work. Now it is working. Because it's not about them. It was about me and what I wanted to see myself in the long run. And on the other hand, just have 2 or 3 people that you can listen when they tell you something, but knowing that they're mentoring you in a very positive way. Even if they are not your mentor in the business concept, but they are just mentoring you like talking. Yeah, have someone that you can always talk to, and always surround yourself with the people that can talk your language, that they will be able to understand, that they won't be able to criticize. And then move away from the people that like to criticize and moan and complain. Just run and move away from those people, because they are going to pull you down. You will end up being like them.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Thank you so much for this, Prof. I think everybody learned a lot from the session. I know I learned a lot from the session. Love you. We appreciate you. And thank you so
Thank you so much. Thank you, Amanda, for inviting me, and thank you so much for the viewers and the listeners. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. Bye. Goodbye. Take care. Bye.